And what is going on, everybody out there? All of you beauts and beauties. It is episode number 95 of Hat Trick Hockey, which is always brought to you by our good friends over at GL Heritage, the official beer of Hat Trick Hockey. If you like Rob's sweater there, you like that pretty sweet sweater he's wearing right there, you just smash the link on the post there. It'll bring you right into our merch store for all of your sweet HTH merch. This being episode number 95, it's the Matt Duchene edition of Hat Trick Hockey. He has played 13 seasons in the NHL. He's played 905 games, 294 goals, 394 assists, 688 points. He is a two-time world championship gold medalist. He's world junior, Olympic, and World Cup gold medalist. He's a world championship silver medalist. It's actually current Nashville Predator, where he makes a bank there. The playoffs are in full swing, but before we get to that, we'll get to my boy Rob. Rob, what's up? How was the week off? As everybody noticed, boys took a week off, recharged the batteries. We needed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Rob and I are back in full swing. We've been crushing interviews this week and stuff, so the boys are back. Rob, how do you feel?
Rejuvenated.
Me too, man.
But the playoffs are wearing me out. These fucking Maple Leafs, Jesus balls.
I'm going to work every day on fucking 4 hours of sleep because of the playoffs.
I watched the last night. I watched the Oilers game right to the end, like 1 o'clock.
It was a fucking awesome game too, though.
I couldn't believe it.
So what's been up, dude?
Nothing. Just hockey.
I hear you. We breathe it.
It's great.
I love it. This time of year is always the fucking best.
Yeah, but the one thing I gotta complain about is these fucking penalties.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This is the most penalties I've seen in the playoffs. Like usually they're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's the playoffs. But now you're like, okay, this isn't regular season, like what's going on here?
Yeah, it's weird.
Touching the hands, touching the feet,
soft calls, some soft calls.
So soft. Like, but it's got to be coming from somewhere, right? Like that Muppet Gary Bettman. That's where it's got to be coming from.
Before we get too far into it, though, Rob, I just want to let everybody know that listen, we're gonna try for Friday drops, but sometimes it just doesn't work out for us. Okay, whether it be a guest or whatever. So listen, we're gonna give you one a week. We don't know when it's gonna be. Is it gonna be Monday? Is it going to be Friday? Is it going to be Wednesday? Is it going to be Saturday? We don't know. We can promise you one a week. So we're going to give you one a week, but we don't know what day it's going to come on. Because like I said, things are crazy for the show right now. So Rob and I are smashing interviews right now, trying to build up a little bit of a bank to kind of make it a little easier on us. Poor Drew, like we dump a bunch of fucking shit on Drew, or he's got to like throw shit together quick. And by the way, we just did an interview. Well, what I'll say, it was with Joe, and we did an interview with Joe, and he actually complimented Drew on our YouTube and everything being like fucking pro, he said. So that's good. And like I said, we don't give Drew a lot of time, and people don't really hear about Drew a lot because Drew is behind the scenes doing everything behind the scenes for us, and he does a great job. So he's the reason why our audio is always so good, our video is always so good, and all that stuff is always because of Drew. So sorry, Drew, I know sometimes we drop a bunch of stuff on you, but you're the fucking best at it. So let's keep rolling here, shall we? Rob,
yeah, he's a beauty.
Yeah,
he's a fucking beauty.
So series breakdowns. Let's fucking get right into it. We already kind of started. Leaf series been just insane. Like I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm not a fan of either of these teams, and I'm on the edge of my seat. It's been back and forth the whole time. The Leafs, the big boys are scoring now, Rob. Here we go. So now Marner and Matthews last year went completely silent in the playoffs. Both of those boys now have 7 points each.
Yeah.
7 points in 5 games. They're buzzing, those two. JT started off a little bit slow, came back in game 5. I believe he had a goal and assist in that game. The part I don't like about JT is I feel like they're beating him up, Rob, like in the scrums. Like, you know what I mean? They're ripping his helmet off, giving him the fucking shots on the top of the head and stuff like that. I just feel like he's not doing enough for himself. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's taking some shots in scrums. Like,
yeah, but what's he gonna do? That, like you posted that thing on, like he should drop the gloves. And
I think he should have there.
He's had one fight in his entire career. It's not going to happen. That's like having Austin Matthews go and throw bombs at somebody. No, Austin Matthews cross-check somebody in the face.
Yeah.
Or in his
In
neck.
the face. In the face.
Right in his neck. He's not going to drop their
Yeah.
gloves. They're not those players.
And
like they pay Simmons and Clifford enough money to take care of that shit that they don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, so, and for Tavares to make what, $11 million and break his hand going into the playoffs, or to get rocked before, like look what happened to him with Perry, almost broke his neck and split his head open, like he's got to be worried about that shit. And I don't blame him for not dropping the gloves, because I don't think Crosby should ever. I don't think Malkin should ever. And look at Malkin. Malkin did the same thing. He's not going to drop the gloves, but he'll cross-check you in the teeth.
I've seen him straight up fight though, like gloves off. Let's go.
And Tavares has had one fight in his entire career. When you posted that shit, you had people commenting on him, calling him a pussy. He played fucking lacrosse, and you tell me what lacrosse player is a pussy?
That's why I'm saying he should have fucking dropped his gloves there. He would have been fine.
And then he breaks a hand, and then I don't have him for the playoffs.
You could go fucking skating into the net and get hit in the face with a shot. It's the same odds, dude.
I'd rather that happen than him punch somebody and break his hand or get rocked and he's got a concussion.
Here's the reason why I thought he should have fought. Okay. The reason why I'm saying I thought he should have fought is because everything was kind of matched up where they knew they were playing the Lightning. Okay. So it was those two teams. He's in his scrum. Hagel's fucking punching him in the head. However, JT did skate into the scrum and put somebody in a headlock. So if you're not looking for trouble, don't skate in and put somebody in a headlock. Number one.
Well, he's grabbing somebody
I agree. He was doing what he should have done, but instead of skating in and grabbing somebody by their jersey, he put somebody in a headlock. Mm-hmm. When you get put in a fucking headlock and their shoulder pads or whatever are rubbing on your ear, shit hurts, man. So it pissed me off. So the guy came up swinging. I believe it was Hagel. The only reason why I'm saying he should have fought is, like I said, they knew that these teams would have matched up. I think he would have done fine versus Hagel, because Johnny T, I know he's a fucking hockey player. He's got to be somewhat tough. I just think if he would have fought there, he would have showed his team and the guys in the room that going into this series that we're not fucking around. You're not going to push us around. You're not going to take liberties with us. And that's it. And I just think it would have done a lot for him and the team inside of that locker room. I think it would have went a long ways.
And that's your opinion, and I disagree. Because that's like saying Larkin, after he was done bitching about unsuccessful season and all that shit, he wasn't dropping the gloves. He wasn't showing the team that he needed to fight to fucking prove anything.
I wish he would.
Yeah, but it doesn't go as far as it used to.
Maybe it's because when I think of the Leafs and I think of a guy that wears the C, who do I think of?
Wendell Clark.
Exactly.
Okay, but Matt Sundin. How many fights did you see Matt Sundin get into?
I always think Wendell, and Wendell's an old school guy. Yeah. And I love old school hockey, and Toronto being a original six and stuff like that. You got to have that fucking, I just want them to play with some jam. That's all.
Well, they pay guys to play with the jam. They pay Tavares to score.
I know, but they are entertaining to watch. I will say that. I'm a Wings fan, and Toronto has had me on the edge of my seat. But like I said, these guys are they're getting the points. In that, even Vasilevsky, like Campbell's stats are better through the first 5 games. Not much, but they're better than
I did not see
Vasilevsky. This is crazy.
I did not see Toronto pretty much averaging 5 goals a game.
Yeah, it's every team who's won, I think, has put up at least 5.
Yeah. Well, last night's wasn't like that, but
what last night end?
4-3.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but remember, we did. We'll just give him a plug right now. Is Gelinas, and before the interview was over, you said, "Hey, Leafs are losing 2-0," and I'm like, "Fuck."
I know. And then it was boom. What a shot by Nylander on the one to go up 3-2. JT had a beautiful pass to tie it. I believe he hit Morgan Riley.
What a shot! Brad Hall goal.
All the big dogs are coming out. Here's the thing though. Vasilevsky is 14-0 after a loss in the playoffs with a 9.66 save percentage and 5 shutouts following a loss. Okay. What I want to know is, honestly, do you see a game 7? Do you see Toronto wrapping it up? Like, honestly, truthfully.
No, I would not. I would not bet against Tampa Bay losing this game. Like for whatever reason, like somebody, I was listening to another interview and they were saying that Hedman was talking to the media or whatever and saying we take that loss personally. So then they come out like gangbusters. And in all honesty, I thought Toronto was losing that game when you told me it was 2-0. Then I turned on the TV and it was like, how is this 2-0? They were just buzzing.
Oh, I know. They were
like, it looked like they were on a power play the whole second period.
It did.
So I would really love to know who stood up in that locker room and said whatever they had to say. If it was Keith, if it was, Johnny T or whoever it was, Bunting, Austin Matthews, who knows? But I would have really loved to have been a fly on the wall to hear that one.
Yeah. Is there a curse with the number 43 there in Toronto? Because Clifford throws that shitty hit in game 1, gets kicked out, earns a 1. I think he got 1 game, right? The part that I didn't agree with the Leafs was Jason Spezza's in the fucking press box for the first 2 games. And I understand that they wanted to add some jam into the lineup, having Clifford in and all the shit that happened. It was a gong show the last time the teams played leading into the series,
into the regular season.
Yeah. So I understand that they wanted to add some jam into the lineup and stuff like that, some grit. But when you come to think about it, Jason Spezza adds leadership. He's a face-off guy as well, right? So I just think having him in the lineup would have been better than like Clifford or Simmons. Like I would have just put one of them in, not both of them, is what I'm saying.
I think they were, like you said, I think they were looking for
some grit.
A big, brouhaha. And I honestly thought that Keith was going to be ready for it. It didn't turn out like that, but in the first game, the Leafs, obviously they did win, even though they fought off that 5-minute power play with Clifford, excuse me, taking that 5 minutes,
which was huge.
No, it was huge. I think it was the turning point in the game.
Yeah.
Like Tampa Bay couldn't get set up. And fuck Corey Perry. Like, why do the Leafs got to fucking play this prick the last 3 years in a row they've had to play him like first round?
Corey Perry is like, he's just one of those guys. He's just
stud.
He just does it night in and night out. Yeah. And he's not your, let's check him out here on the series. So on the series, he has 2 goals on the series. He has 2 goals in 5 games on the series. He's got 16 penalty minutes though. So he's doing his thing there. And his one of his goals did come on the power play.
Yeah.
As well. So he's going to probably be a big net front guy, right? Like he's going to be there whacking away at the rebounds. He's going to be slashing the guy on the hand when he's covering up. He's that.
He does. He tried to fight Simmons when they were down in the first game.
Yeah.
He tried to fight Simmons. Like, and Simmons like, I'm not having anything to do with you prick.
Yeah. They had a big brawl at the end of game 1.
Yeah.
Big brouhaha there. Yeah, that was a good one. So back to my question. Is it Leafs in 6 or is this going 7 and who?
If I'm going with my head or my heart, there's
Leafs
2 different answers.
Yeah.
Going with my head, they're the Stanley Cup champs 2-time, like back to back. With my head, I'm going Tampa in 7, obviously. And that's what I picked in our little pool. But I would love from my heart to see them fucking mop Tampa tomorrow.
And it could happen, man. Like if the Leafs, if they can get one early, that's going to be the key. Get one early, get the building out of it.
Well, it was brought to my attention too last night when I was watching the game. Grace said, so Toronto won their first game in Toronto. Then they lost. Then they went to Tampa Bay and they won the first game in Tampa Bay. She goes, so now they come back to Toronto, they win, they're going to Tampa Bay. She's like, they're going to win.
Yeah,
so
could be right.
But in all honesty, I was jumping around like a freaking idiot last night when they scored the first goal. I was like, yeah, okay, let's see where they're. And then they scored the second goal, and I'm jumping around in the kitchen like a just
And
a
then third was
crazy
boom, like
maniac.
right after.
Right after, and I barely calmed down from that second goal. So yeah, I haven't been this excited in a long time.
This is a great series.
Hockey.
This is a fucking awesome series.
And that game last night was fantastic.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better ones going this series here. It's just two good hockey teams, man. And like if the Leafs can do it, if they go there game 6, went on the road and everything, they would make Buddy fucking 14-1. Like, what a way to not only break that, but to knock out the champs and everything, to break that 18-year drought.
That curse.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of the I don't know. I think either way, it's a story either way this series.
For sure. One team's going to be rolling when they're done this series, because remember, there were only five points separating them, right?
I agree. And ending it on this for this series anyways, I will say, and I'm saying it now, if Toronto gets through this series, look the fuck out. I will say that.
Yeah.
I will say that, because if they get through this, they're going to come out with some swagger, knocking off the cup champs and this and that. And and the big boys they're already scoring. So the part that worries me for the Leafs moving forward is in net. That's the only part that worries me.
I don't know. Campbell played great last night.
I agree, but can he play good enough during a whole run and get 16 wins in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
You beat the Stanley Cup champs out.
You're gonna have some swagger.
I got lots of faith in you.
Yeah. So we're gonna find out. So like I said, if the Leafs win this series, look the fuck out. I'll say that. So moving on, what series should we go to? We'll stay in the East. Do you want to go Hurricanes and Bruins? Do you want to go Rangers and Pens? Do you want to go
Rangers and Pens?
You want to go Rangers and Pens?
Yeah.
So right now, the Pens currently lead the series 3-1. They're actually playing right now as we speak, and the Rangers are up 3-2 right now. So, and it's only, I think it's the second or third period right now. So these teams are battling. What's been nice about this series too is, remember, during the regular season, Shesterkin did a little fucking wave at center ice, right? And all he did was fire up the Penguins. Crosby's got 9 points. Gensel has 5 goals on the series. Just, they're firing from all over. The goalies right now, like Shesterkin, think about it. They're down 3-1 in the series. His save is still over 900.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I like when you asked for that game, like who I was picking, I could not go against Captain Canada. Like Sidney Crosby is just a stud. When he gets mad, like you don't want him mad.
Oh, I know.
You know, like, and he's playing like a man on fire right now. So
he does.
I really like their odds coming out of this series.
Yeah, you had the Pens, right?
Yeah.
You had the Pens, and I had the Rangers in 7 games. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
I had the Pens in 7.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I can see the Pens possibly wrapping up tonight if they can get things going. Like Malkin, I think too he's been like, the part that's weird is you haven't really heard about him much. Like he's only got 2 goals and 1 assist.
Yeah, like I haven't noticed him much. Like, and I've been watching quite a bit of the Pens because you just want to watch greatness, and Sidney Crosby is so great. But that Gensel, what's his name? Gensel?
Yeah.
That Gensel, kid is fucking phenomenal.
And by the way, it's 3-3 now.
Crosby?
I'm gonna check right now. I'm actually looking into it right now. So Gensel got the first one, and Gensel's got 2.
It's amazing.
Holy shit, as fast as it. So it was Gensel, and then now it's already 4-3 for the Rangers.
Oh, there you go.
That quick. Holy shit. So yeah, so I had the Rangers
in the third period now.
So we'll see. Yes, it's in the third period. Yeah.
All right, let's go quicker because I'd love to see the end of this game.
Yeah. Do you got anything else to add on that series?
Letang. I think he is such a stud, man.
Yeah.
Like just watching him move the puck, and he slows everything down. But when he wants to motor, man, there is a motor strapped to that guy's ass, and he's just wheeling.
Mm-hmm. So
I really enjoy watching him play.
You had Pens in how many games?
7. Pretty sure it was 7.
Could end tonight. Who knows? Which one you want to do next? Hurricanes and Bruins or Caps and Panthers?
Well, let's go with the Caps and Panthers. This is something I didn't see.
This series is nuts. They're actually like, I think it's a 2-2 series right now. They're playing game 5 tonight. Washington is currently up 1-0. This series, fucking, it's just like, let me see here. Like Ekblad, like, I don't know, man. The Panthers are just, it seems like they kind of like went nuts during the regular season, and they kind of went into,
they're gassed. They're gassed now.
Like they went down a gear.
I think, in all honesty, it's the hardest thing to do is win the President's Trophy and then come win the first round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you get no layoff, you get no nothing. It's not like, baseball where you get the bye, or football, sorry, you get the bye and you're off for a week. You've just poured the coals to it, and now you're right in it. And whether it's the first place team or the second place team or last place team, everybody's got a chance to win. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is make it.
Part that's crazy. So they're in game 5. Barkov's only got 3 points. Sam Bennett, Giroux only have 2 points. Huberto's only got 3 points. You know what I mean? Like they need the big boys to kind of, I'm sure they will at some point, but they need to maybe step it up a little bit here.
See, and you remember what you were saying a couple podcasts ago? You were talking about what do they do in basketball where they give the guys like a week off or whatever?
Load management.
Yeah, load management. I know you don't think that that's a real thing, like when it comes to hockey players, but I really do. Like, think about how much time they're spending on the ice. Like, when do you actually and especially with goalies, I think that was the greatest thing that Campbell got to do was take like 3 weeks off and just get his mind right. Like I think that really helped him. And in all honesty, I think at any point there should almost be like somebody watching out for these guys and saying, hey, I think he needs a couple weeks off.
I just don't like how they call it load management. I just think it's just fucking says like, I don't know, it's supposed to be hockey, and like then just say he's got a lower body injury and he's day to day or something.
But remember, it's not like it used to be, right? Like this is a different era. Like the game's a lot faster. The game's there's way more skill to it. There's so many systems that you have to remember, and where the puck is here and you have to be there. Like it's a lot of shit to think about when back in the day you just fucking went and scored goals.
I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah. Well,
the only thing
I honestly think some of these guys need it.
But also too, like, I don't know, like the fans also pay good money to see these guys on the ice as well. Yeah. Too, right? And like,
but they're human beings too.
I agree. They're
you
just
need a rest. You need a rest.
I agree, I'm sure. But then
there's
you just
times that you're gassed and you don't want to fucking do something, so you take a break.
Then you just put them on, like I said, you don't call it like, oh, he's tired, he needs a break. You just call it like, hey, he hit his foot or he's got a finger injury or something, like he's out a week. Like, you know what I mean? Like just have it like that, or day to day.
Or he's mind fucked.
I know, but we'll see. The Caps, though. So Backstrom's 5 points. Mantha's got 3 points in 4 games. Oshie's, like Ovi, they're all scoring right now.
Yeah,
all these guys,
and that surprises me about Ovi, like because I didn't even think he was gonna play in this series.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: Florida hasn't even scored on the power play yet in this series.
Really?
Not one power play.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Not one.
And they're in game 5 right now.
Yeah. And this whole series too, the Caps, their penalty kill 100%.
Well, if Florida hasn't scored yet.
I know, but still. I wonder how many there are. How many power plays? I don't know. So yeah, that's all crazy. Looking at the goals for him and all the stats. I don't know, man. I just I think I have Florida in this series. I know that. I think I have Florida in 6.
Florida. I didn't think Washington had a fart snort chance in hell.
I know, it's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
What teams? All right, so we'll go to the last one, and then we'll flip over to our interview here. Boston, Carolina. Your favorite, Boston Bruins.
Oh, Carolina just crushed their balls. I don't fucking care.
Series is 3-2.
Marchand out. That's all I want to see.
Speaking of your buddy Marchand, he's got 3 goals and 6 assists, 9 points. He leads the Bruins.
He's a stud. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. What I like about this series is how gritty it is. They're all back and forth. Marchand slashing the goalie. They're exchanging shoves. There's a lot of scrums. Marchand was asleep for the first probably 2 games of this series. And then all of a sudden just bam, came alive. And he's been lights out ever since. The one game Sunday afternoon, Mother's Day there, he had 2 goals and 3 assists.
I think this is their last chance as a core.
Their last run.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they don't put this together, then they'll dismantle. They have to.
So,
Yeah, I seriously think so. They might keep Marchand, but I see everybody else leaving.
Yeah, like guys with Carolina, other side of the puck, they're like Aho's got 5 points, Jarvis has 4, Niederreiter has 4, Jordan Stahl there, he has it is Jordan Stahl that plays there, right? Yeah, Jordan Stahl, he has like 3 or 4 points as well.
How many does Brindamore have? Because he's fucking got the skates on, wearing somebody else's fucking helmet, wearing Kopitar's freaking smoke mirror glass there.
Yeah, fuck. And what's his name? Svechnikov there. Did you see that hit he threw in the first game? Fucking damn near killed that guy. My God. He hit a guy. The guy was out cold. Like out cold, dude.
That's awesome.
It was Rob. It was a big hit. And this one
I would have seen it because I love those hits.
I had Boston in 6, so that's obviously not going to happen.
I'm pretty sure I took Carolina in that too.
I think you did take Carolina. I feel like you took them in 7 for some reason. I don't have yours. Like I copied and pasted out of the chat. I'm not sure why I don't have yours. Send me yours.
It went to it was on Messenger, right?
Yeah, just send me your picks. But yeah. So other than that, so there's the East. So what we'll do is maybe we'll flip over to our interview here, eh, Rob?
Absolutely.
Flip over Mr. Gelinas, Ryan Gelinas, former Windsor Spitfire goalie. So everybody check him out. Enjoy the interview. Here you go, Ryan Gelinas.
Roll it.
No time. Woo, woo. Woo.
Well, it's next cat with us. Played some goalie for the Windsor Spitfires. He's played United League, played some University, OHA senior as well. Actually taught me in grade 10 or 11 math as well, Rob. Probably wasn't the best of students back in the day. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Ryan Gelinas. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
So Ryan, you couldn't have been that good of a teacher because Ant still thinks 4 out of 3 people are good in math.
Mm-hmm.
I think I passed them. I gave him a 51.
Yeah.
I pushed them.
That's all I needed.
Right?
That's all I needed.
2 + 2 is Jello. I said, good for you. Good for you.
That's funny. So what's up, man?
Nothing. Just enjoying the day. It was a good day of staying at home, going to the doctors. Thought I had shingles again, so that was fun. So I had to stay home, and then it wasn't that, luckily, and so I just cleaned around the house and took it easy. Nice little Tuesday.
What's shingles, Ryan?
It's like chicken pox that lay dormant in your body for years, and you can get it later in shingles. So it's like chicken pox for adults, man.
It hurts like
Sucks.
hell.
Yeah, it sucks. So,
Painful.
but I don't have it, so it's good news. So it's some sort of
Glad to
rash
hear.
I'm unaware of. So, anywho,
Hey, you grew up a Windsor boy, right?
correct. Yeah.
So you always played like minor everything through there, obviously.
Well, actually, I my first couple of years, actually, I lived in Essex. So, and I played my first couple of years of hockey was Essex minor hockey for ladies auxiliary. The first 2 years of my life, I played forward, and then we moved to Windsor, and I played goalie, and I played like AAA all growing up. So yeah, for Windsor Club 240.
Sweet. I played for Morin Coots and Shinkles.
Shinkles. There you go. Yeah.
And Big V. I played for Big V too.
Most improved
Yeah.
player with Big V too.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got a lot of SO awards.
The SO, most improved. No, it was awesome. My first 2 years of hockey was a player, and I was skating, and I always thought that skating kind of helped me out with being a goalie. I was a pretty good skater, so that kind of started all that too. And so, and I remember, the house league, and they had like the half boards along the net with the 3 holes, and you had to shoot in them, obviously, to do that. And I was in the net anyway, trying to block it. I kept tripping over the little boards all the time. So it was, I think I was kind of drawn to be a goalie anyway. So, but yeah, little Essex shout out there. I lived probably like, my dad moved like 3 times in Essex alone, and I was only there for a couple of years. Lived on Michael Drive. You guys from Essex, right?
Yeah.
Michael Drive, Eiler. I remember all that stuff.
I live on
Isler,
Isler too.
Rob lives on.
I live on
Isler.
Isler right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was
Right by the
like
old folks home.
there you go. Yeah. Okay. I was, I think there's a small white 2-story there somewhere. That was my house. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's
Playing
crazy.
some road hockey on Eiler Street.
Were you on the town side, or were you
Yeah.
on the other side of Big Hill Park?
No, I was on like the Talbot Street side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So our
Mhm.
side, Rob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. What the fuck made you want to be a goalie, dude?
It's the
Lazy.
typical older brother that firing
yeah.
slap shots in the driveway. That's kind of what started it. So, and I was pretty good. So he's like, he got mad, and, and then I was like, okay, this seems pretty good, because he's 4 years older than me. So, if I can stop him, and maybe it might be a start. So it's that typical story, really, is what it was. So I did, like I say, started playing hockey as a forward for a couple of years, and he just wanted to work on a shot or something, and rip some real pucks at me. So, and all I had was like a baseball glove and some phone books on my legs. So that's about it. So, but yeah, I closed my eyes really well. And so, and that's how I became a goalie, I guess. So yeah, that story, the old brother story.
That's exactly the way my brother became a goalie.
Yeah.
So we didn't have much money, so we take those lemons, like you're squeezing lemons. And we fill it up with dirt, put the cap back on it, and I would fire that at him. And it was the same thing: a glove, no blocker, and couch cushions for pads.
Yeah, that's what we used. We actually used to take them, like, because our living room was we had a back door right where the living room was. So you walked in from the back door into the living room. So we just always grabbed the cases, or the cushions out the back, right to the side to the driveway. So yeah, that's what I actually used, and some duct tape. So
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
about it.
That's
Yeah.
nuts, man.
I love it.
Usually those end in, and then I got some stitches. It's usually how those end.
Yeah, my head, I got a little here and there, some in the back from some fights, and some from the front. So yeah, good times. Yeah, I wasn't tough, but I wasn't smart either. So want to go? Okay. So
What was the worst shot you've ever taken in the head? Like, I don't mean by a punch, but like a puck. Like who gave you that shot?
out of the blue, some Corey Bricknell. I played a little bit with Brantford in United League. He ripped one in practice, and my ears rang the entire practice, like it didn't stop ringing. So it was like funny, then got worried, right? Because it was still ringing at the end of practice. So he took a shot like the first drill right in my head. So other than that, I mean, you get the ringing and stinging. the old goalie masks, the Kevlars and stuff like that. But my most painful would be like collarbone. I always had like collarbone shots. Like my collarbone is like flat. It's flat because I never wore a neck guard because I'm stupid. So, and then I would stand up tall and then like my arm pads would hang down. Right.
Yeah.
So I always got shots here. Matt Cook gave me a nice one right there with the Spitfires. So he's the one that flattened my collarbone really. He always used to like to go high and hard. So
Yeah, but he did that because he's a prick.
yeah. So
Those ones
some
would
fun
hurt
stories
so
about it.
bad right on the collarbone like that.
Oh, yeah. That was-
Just thinking about it hurts.
yeah. Got those a lot.
Oh.
So
I broke my collarbone. I thought I was dead.
yeah, it's a hard stinging. Never fully broke. Just I don't know. I'm assuming fractured. I was able to play, just iced it, and I was fortunate enough that I don't think I ever had a full break because I know obviously people with broken collarbones, they're on the shelf for a while with a sling and everything. So I never had that. So I lucked out, but stung enough.
Actually, some of them once in a while they have to have them like fixed in like plates and like freaking whole bunch of shit in there, freaking hardware, screws, whole bunch of shit like that. So actually, you got lucky. Yeah,
that actually happened to my kid's buddy, neighbor buddy. There, he played hockey with. It happened to him like yesterday. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so he just got out of the hospital, plate and 6 screws, and he's 14 years old.
Oh, how did he do it?
Body check though. It was a hit in tryouts. So
that's a crushing check.
Yeah.
When you break someone's collarbone, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
you're hitting someone hard then. Hey, who was your like favorite growing up? Like just to watch whoever, like NHL or OHL or whoever.
Yeah, I liked so I grew up a Montreal Canadiens fan. And I know. I mean, I enjoy watching hockey now. I don't actually have a favorite team. I just enjoy watching it, with the kids and stuff like that. So, but growing up, it was Montreal, and it was, of course, Patrick Waugh, but also Mats Naslund. I love Mats Naslund. He was an awesome player. So, yeah. So I watch those two all the time. So, and I loved, obviously watching them back in when they win the cup last, like 94 or something like that. So I was like big in the 90s with those guys. So, yeah. Russ Courtnall and all those guys. Yeah, it was
the year Toronto should have won it.
That was 93.
Yeah.
Fucking Kerry Fraser.
93.
That prick.
The famous high stick.
What's that?
The old famous high stick, Gretzky, Gilmore, right?
Didn't see it.
Yeah.
Didn't see it. But you couldn't have 2 Canadian teams playing for the Stanley Cup. You're going to lose all your American viewers, right? So.
Oh yeah. Back in the 90s, there wasn't really any. I don't think, was there? American viewers?
Yeah, the U.S. had a lot of teams.
Yeah,
we're still trying to sell the game all over there, right? And that's why Gretzky ended up going to L.A., right? So,
yeah.
Not
that's
to Detroit
when it started. That's probably when it like skyrocketed. Obviously, the Gretzky.
Yeah. When you had Jack Nicholson, Nicholas, whatever the actor, when he was going, freaking all the stars were going.
Yeah,
that's when it was just enormous.
Yeah, that's when it started. So
yeah.
Hey, you got drafted into the OHL, didn't you? Did you
Correct.
get drafted? Okay.
Yes.
So did you know that it would be Windsor? Was there other cities in on your teams, or whatever, or was it always just Windsor?
Niagara Falls and Kitchener. A little bit of Peterborough, but then I didn't hear much from them after. Peterborough was like the first that got a hold of me. But then it ended up being Windsor. But in the 4th round, I still remember this. They drafted a goalie named Ryan Penny. And it was like, you didn't really hear it, right? And I kind of heard Niagara Falls drafts Ryan. And I'm like, and I kind of shot up and we were like, what? But then it wasn't me. It was another guy. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So it was like kind of an unfortunate, embarrassing moment. I was like half standing up, right? But they took another Ryan. So I was kind of, I did better than him in the O, but
fuck that guy. I was way better than him.
So I was drafted by Windsor 7th or 8th. I can't remember, 8th round, I think. And then because what happened was actually the round before, Kevin McIntosh,
Sounds
big
familiar.
area coach. Yeah, he coached everything in this area, kind of like a Kevin Hamlin. Like he coached everywhere,
Mhm.
you know, junior B, and he was like an assistant coach of the Spitfires and stuff like that. So at the time, that's what he was. He was assistant coach of the Spits, and he came up because back then, like the draft was in Belleville. And so like nowadays it's online or whatever and you follow it. But, you know, back when we got drafted, it was like the NHL, we would go to the rink. So it was in Belleville and he came up the round before. He's like, do you want to stay at home or do you want to go somewhere else? And I'm like, well, my parents are around me. My family's around me. I'm like, well, I want to stay at home. He was okay. And then he walks down. And then sure enough, Windsor drafted me. So, and then he came back up later. He's like, Kitchener was taking you the next round. So, yeah.
So were you at that time? So what would you be playing? Would you be playing Bantam or midget? Like what were you in when you get drafted in your draft year?
See, back in the day, you had to play junior to get drafted. So now it's
so like C or B.
Yeah, exactly. So I was playing Windsor Bulldogs Junior B, and I got drafted. Right. So Windsor Spitfires took Ryan Gelinas from the Windsor Bulldogs Junior B. Yeah. So you had to play junior to get drafted. So midget wasn't strong. So that's why the change. I don't know how long ago they did that, but they changed it to the midget draft because they wanted to make minor hockey stronger, right? They wanted to bring back all the midget programs, obviously. So, but because midget wasn't that strong. So like my last year obviously was of minor hockey was Bantam Major. So, yeah. I got drafted out of junior B. So
that's awesome. So now when you're playing, because like hockey DB doesn't go that deep, which I wish it did, you know, like junior C, junior B, junior A, but it only really starts at junior A, which kind of sucks because there was the Bulldogs had some amazing teams back then, you know. Like,
we did.
Now I don't know who you played with back then, but did you play with Glenn Holden and what was it? Jay Holmes?
Like I know those guys, they're a little bit older. So just to back this up, like I grew up playing AAA in Windsor and I was born in 1977. And these two groups, the 1977 group and the 1976 group were unreal. So I played with DJ Smith. I played with Mark Pajot. I made Mark Pajot, Greg Day. Kevin Roach was drafted by London Knights. Brandon Stubbington played for Bell River, drafted by London Knights. We had a lot of guys play junior. Jimmy St. John was the other goalie, got a full ride scholarship. Like we were stacked. And then the 1976s had Ed Jovanovski, Ryan Pollock, Tim Finley, Todd Compo. We had a full ride to Ohio State. So like those two age groups were unreal in minor hockey. So I grew up playing that with those guys, and we were really good. Like I said, we went to the Quebec Pee Wee Carnival tournament. We went all over. We did really well. And
that's
so
a
from
huge
there,
tournament, right?
Yeah, it's the biggest in the world for Pee Wee Major. Yeah, and so yeah, we were a good team for that. And then anyway, so yeah, then I moved on to junior B, Windsor Bulldogs, and then I got drafted by Windsor. Yeah, so and DJ Smith and Mark Cadot also played junior B. So I grew up with those guys, and we all went to high school together and stuff like that. So it was fun times.
That must have been a fucking wagon, eh?
Oh my God.
Because we've had guys on here talking about, you know, like Stubby Clapp and you know, Glenn Holden and I want to say Mike Paley was, you know, the general manager of the 73s. He was saying that
him and I were,
and he coached the University of Windsor too, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But he was saying that he said, if you ask Jovo, Glenn Holden was one of the biggest reasons he made it to the NHL.
Yeah, he was a captain in the top D. I think they were partners. Yeah, so they played on the Bulldogs the year before me. I got called up once or twice to the Windsor Bulldogs when they had Jovanovski and Glenn Holden and those guys. So that's how I know those guys. Yep. I was playing Bantam Major and they had called me up, and then that's why I played for the Bulldogs next year. But again, Jovanovski's a year older than me, so he had gotten drafted, right? And then I got drafted the following year. Right. So yeah, but yeah, that's how I know those guys. And then, like I said, my wife's brother, like my brother-in-law, Glenn Maleko, and all those guys that played Leamington, played against you. Like those were some tough boys. Like there was Josh Prince and Stephen Kiss and all those guys. Like there was there was a lot of tough players, good players, and Glenn Holden was a tough stay-at-home defenseman too. So I can see how
solid big dude. You just
yeah.
He was a good, solid, like you said, stay-home defenseman. But I remember, back in the day when I want to say cable just came out and they started carrying the Bulldog games.
Cable, yeah, or Trillium or whatever, yeah.
yeah. And I remember watching Jay Holmes beat the wheels off guys, and it was fantastic hockey. Like, being able to watch a good junior B game back then. And then, then they started carrying the junior A and, the Spitfires and all that stuff. And then you get your games of the week on TSN now. Like it's become like gigantic how much coverage you get from junior B to, well, not so more junior B anymore, but junior A to,
all the OHL teams.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I like watching those games. Those guys. It seems like a lot of guys in the AHL, they either know or they don't know if they're making it. But junior B, they're trying to get to the next level.
For sure.
And I just find it a harder fought game. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I ran into Dominic Papa. He used to run all the Trilliums and all those junior B that we were talking about. And he runs, I think it's Wii TV, and he's starting to put some, junior B games. And then there's this hockey TV app or something like that you can get, and all the arenas have cameras set up. Yeah. And so you can stream games and stuff. So at least that's good. But yeah, it's good to watch younger junior hockey now, junior B and junior A, of course. I love watching that, right? So it's like watching like college ball or anything like that, right? You want to watch the up and comers. So
Essex, like junior C just started that, I think, in the playoffs now.
I think
they were carrying all the coverages of the junior C playoff games.
I think the guy that Ryan said is the same guy that does that.
Dominic Papa. Yeah. I saw him at Essex Arena there when Lakeshore played Essex. I was at all the games. And I saw Dom a couple times. Yeah, they had the whole camera set up on that one side there on the main side.
I wish I saw him. I'd have wrestled him. For sure.
You guys are the same size. It would have been a good fight.
I know. Oh, you know how tall I am because you saw me at Costco.
I asked you how the weather was down there, eh?
That's funny.
5'11", giant.
Hey, so how like was it for you leading up to your first like OHL camp there in Windsor? Because I know camps back then were a lot different than they are now.
Yeah. So going in as a rookie, we had like Ed Jovanovski, Bill Bowler, Dave Roach. They were good. And that year they ended up being ranked like 6 overall. So going in was, it would have just been a good learning experience, but I put high expectations on myself, right? I put a lot of pressure on myself to like, I'm going to crack it now. Right. So I hung in there as long as I could. I ended up being the third goalie. They ended up getting Jamie Storr for like later on in the playoff run and some stuff like that. And they had Travis Scott as the number 1 goalie. And so I didn't see a lot of time. Well, obviously, right. You have to respect that being a rookie and stuff like that. And then how far that they were going, and the success that they had that year. They ended up unfortunately losing the second round to Sudbury, who went a long, long way. I think they won the final. OHL? No, I can't remember, but we lost to Sudbury in the second round. But I mean, I was sitting in the stands, right? So all those stories you heard about, I think you guys were talking to other people about some stories about the low glass and the no netting and stuff like that. And that was like the era I played, right? And so it was a lot. It was a lot of like my arm on the crossbar, watching another fight and another fight and another fight in training camp, right? Just watching fights and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, it was crazy. So good. So
that was at the old barn, right?
Yeah, I was the old barn. Yeah.
Now were they still hacking darts in there when you were playing?
To be honest, I can't remember they're smoking. It was always cloudy and I can't remember.
So
I live in a cloud anyway.
That was probably the heating and cooling fucking
Yeah.
burning down in that
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, I think there was no smoking when I played, but there was obviously it's old. It's old. There's a cloud of something.
Yeah. Where you'd walk out of the room, you'd smell nothing but beer and darts.
Yeah, right
Awesome.
beside, where the laundry
Especially
room
because their dressing room was right there.
That's what I mean. It was right next door to the lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then a lot of times when I didn't dress, right, I have to try to walk through that crowd, and some people try to pull me in and have a beer. I'm like, well, that wouldn't look good, buddy. So, but yeah, you'd smell it, you'd see it, and walking through and people nudging into you, and then you got beer on your suit and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I got to get out of here. It doesn't look right. So
now, as a third goalie, you go in, you sit in, like your first year, you still get to go into the dressing room, like in intermission and all that stuff, and hear what's going on, and
Yeah, for the most part. But what happened with me as well was I ended up actually playing some junior B that year too. So I was playing a little bit with the Bulldogs, and then they traded me out right away to Chatham too. So I got in, I think if my stats are, I can't remember my stats, and I don't trust Hockey DB at all. Disclaimer, Hockey DB's wrong.
Yeah,
But,
well, I was talking about all them girls you dated too, right?
Okay, yeah.
Hockey DB.
It's
all lies. It's all lies.
One of them. It's all lies. Yeah. No, I think I played like 13 games for each or something like that. I was 13 with Windsor, then 13 in junior B between Windsor Bulldogs and Chatham Micmacs too. So yeah. I was able to play a bit, but yeah, for the most part, I would sit up in the stands and then go in the dressing room and stuff like that. So, and I got in a good amount of games and stuff like that. So, and actually I had a decent winning record. I think I had like 6 wins and 3 losses, 3 ties or something like that. So yeah, it was a good first year for me, all in all, considering all the circumstances. So a good team and good experience.
So how was it for you leading up to your first start? Nerves, like anything like that, or were you just calm and cool?
I was calm and cool when we got on the bus. Hey, welcome. Your first game. We're going to the Sioux, right? So just get your stuff. You're backing up tonight. I'm like, okay. And then we are about Saginaw, and he nudges me on the shoulder, wakes me up. You're starting tonight. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. So I think he kind of obviously meant it to give me a psychological test. So my first game was in the Sioux, so it was
freaking Sioux was a big rivalry for you guys too.
Yeah, it was yeah. Dan Kluche wanted to fight me the first game, so he just gave me a nice little nod, and I was like, no. There was something going on with Ed Jovanovski, like off to the side, not a line brawl. There was something else with Dave Roach, and so the old arm on the crossbar again. And he gives me a nod down just like that. And I'm like, just no, too early. You're too old and tough right now. So,
so not this isn't Roach in that.
Yeah.
That guy's an animal.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was big. He came in when I had left there the following year. That's who they brought in. So, yeah. And then that's when I had left the Spitfires. They had me and Ron Vogel. And then Ron Vogel was a good rookie, and then Scott Roach had come in. So I was kind of like the odd man out that year, the year after. So, I played a full year with me and Terry Joss, and it was the year after that. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So I lived through a span of 3-4 years with the Spitfires, but technically only 1 year full time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So what was Jovanovski like?
He was a good guy. He was, yeah. So it was he was just brash, just in your face. Obviously that you saw on ice, but he portrayed it off ice. Like he wasn't mean or dumb or rude off the ice, but it's just he portrayed kind of brash.
Call you out when you need to be called out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He'll call you a freaking idiot, stupid, and and then he's obviously had a little chip on his shoulder, a little arrogance to him, and while being drafted first overall, of course, I get it too. So but he's the type of guy that delivered, right? So he was on the ice, and he was brash on the ice, right? Well, obviously you guys know how he played, right? And then he had some skill and some bruteness to him. So, and that's the type of player I love, the brute player, right? With skill, rocket shot, have decent hands, can move and can kill you at the same time. So, and that's what he had, right? And it kind of portrayed it, like I said, off the ice too, right? You don't want to mess with that guy. You didn't want to mess with him.
He was an awesome defenseman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Punishing.
Did you ever end up fighting in the L?
I ended up fighting a forward, Tom Kostopoulos. I ended up fighting Tom Kostopoulos. Oh my God, my phone. Sorry.
Holy
Tom
shit, bro. It's like the Blair Witch over there.
I know. Oh, my laptop wasn't working. There we go.
So you said you fought,
no, my one fight
you fought
was
a
against
forward.
Tom Kostopoulos. He played in the NHL for Pittsburgh. I want to say. I ended up fighting him. It was actually a preseason game. He played for London Knights, and like I was getting I had like 13 shots on me in like the first period, and then he ran me for like some stupid reason. I have no reason why. It was 1-1, and he just ran me like an idiot. And then it was funny because DJ Smith and Ed Jovanovski were the D right there, and obviously they would have killed him. But I just snapped them like, let me go, let me go, let me go. That's what I kept yelling, like, because Smitty and Jovanovski were there. And so I went, and I actually did okay. I truly thought I got more punches in, and then I just tripped on my pads, got up, started laughing, got kicked off, and that was good. So I was dating my wife at the time, and she's like, I drove all the way to London with my dad and your dad, and by the time we got there, we were late. You were already out. I'm like, I'm all gonna fight. So sorry about that.
Let's grab a beer.
Yeah, there you go.
We're going to Jack Astor's.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I walked up the stairs, and that's how, like, I saw them because they were above the general manager at the time, Mr. Awander. He was in the row ahead. So I'm walking up to them, and Mr. Awander goes like this and gives me a little fist bump. I'm like, yeah, all right. So pretty cool getting a little fist bump from the GM at the time. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, what was playing with Billy Bowler? Like we had him on the show, and he seemed like a really awesome guy.
He was awesome. He was the captain the first year, and he played with some good swag. That's for sure. It's like he was untouchable, right? So he had big boys in front of him, and I'll say it, hey Billy, you're not tough. But he had some big, no, he doesn't have to be, right? But he walked with swag, and he talked a good game out there on the ice, and he showed it. He's another one, right? So you can totally get away with it. So
yeah.
But yeah, he had some very good diving skills, man. He had the old, you give him the littlest hook, he's up on his back and he lands and he slams his stick. I never forget. He's got
just
this
signature
guy. Yeah, exactly. This signature where it's loud with the stick. He was so good at it, man. No, he was awesome. He was awesome captain. So
now I don't know if you remember this, but back around the time that you're playing, and then mid 90s, Jason Arnott. When Jason Arnott would get in a scrum with somebody, when he played in the O and when he played in the NHL, he would pretend to lose his balance and his stick would come down right on top of your head. Donk.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if anybody ever remembers that, but oh my God, I couldn't believe how many times he did it.
Yeah. There's
just pretend to lose your balance. Smack.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some interesting things that, you can get away with. I mean, my oldest boy actually he's a good defender. He doesn't play anymore. He's done. But he used to do a little can opener in lacrosse where he would like hook a guy right in tight and you can't let go to get open at all. And he'd have that person. So he would take the top scorer and can opener him. And the guy just can't get open, but you can't call a penalty because it's stick on stick at the time in lacrosse. Right. You can do that.
He's just tied up.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, there is holding like in hockey, but he wasn't holding. He was can opening. So it's smart. So everyone's got there's little things you can do, little tricks of the trade, right? So
right. Yeah. And remember, it was funny too because you remember McCabe McCabe used to give everybody the can opener, and nobody
Yeah.
even knew what he was doing until the announcers started saying, well, look, he puts his stick right between the legs. And it's the old Toronto announcers. And then they started calling penalties on it,
Yeah,
right? But he had that going for I don't know how long, and then next thing you know, with media, the video and all that stuff, next thing you know, it's all out there now. Right?
Yeah. So you can't do that. Yeah. The lacrosse can opener's down though this way and hold the stick. Whereas, hockey can openers right up. Yeah. So
right between your legs, so you can't cross over, right?
Yeah. And they used to do that too. I don't even know if it's allowed anymore because they picked up on this too, where you hold a guy up against the boards, right? And then you put your stick in between their legs and then you turn it.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing.
But I don't think you can do that anymore because they'll call an immediate strip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or interference or whatever, however.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they used to do
hockey's
that too,
turning
right?
into basketball anymore, for fuck's sake.
Just
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's just well, at least you can interfere and pick in basketball.
That is true.
Yeah.
True story.
So,
Can't do it in the NHL.
yeah.
Hey,
The old sorry, go ahead.
have you ever shot for a goal?
No, I never did. I was very simple. I used to like when I stopped the puck behind the net, fire it off the high glass. Or on the other side, fake that I'm shooting around the net and just sauce it backhand to my defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
So my defenseman will let his trailer go to attack me. I'd fake shooting that way and sauce it back to him in the corner that way.
Oh,
So
nice.
I just usually did set up plays or shoot hard around the glass just to buy my team time. I never really I shouldn't say that. One year when I was playing in Quad City, after practice, me and this guy, Jimmy Brown, we used to take my goalie stick and fire it end to end. And I got really good. So he used to take my goalie stick and from my crease, he would fire it over the glass in the other end. He was that good. So I would try to practice. And then I scored a couple times from my crease shooting. And I was trying to get it over the glass behind the net down at the other end. But so I guess in a roundabout way, I was practicing. But I was just trying to beat him and just try to shoot it over glass because he had a crazy shot with my goalie stick.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but I never attempted an empty net shot, unfortunately. So,
And back then, those sticks were like tree trunks.
yeah, they were.
You know what I mean? Compared to the sticks that they have now that are like what, 3 pounds? Like if that.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah,
like
They're
not even
fucking ounces now.
Yeah, exactly.
Insane.
I like a little lumber when I played beer league. I took my middle child stick. I got him a new stick, and I'm like, this stick is so light. So I taped it like all the way almost down to the blade just for weight. He's like, Dad, why the hell did you do that? I'm like, it's too light. It's way too light.
Yeah.
So I got grip all the way down. That's funny. So yeah,
adding lead weights on the back of the back of you.
sticks are too light, man. I'd see, and I'm old school, right? And it's like, okay, kids, I get it. Super, super light stick, flex, blah, 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 wicked shot. But don't you want a little bit of weight to help you carry the puck? Because don't you think if this is the puck and you're trying to push with a light stick, it'd slip over? You know what I mean? But that's just my old man thinking. If you have a little bit more weight, it's going to help you push it. But I don't know.
See, the same thing that what you're talking about there is that I never knew they had that hood on them. Like when you put your paddle down, they had the hood now, right? So when the puck comes in, it stays in front of the paddle and drops down, right? Like on the new sticks now.
When they go paddle down, right? When they go
paddle down, it has a hood on it. So it comes up and drops down in front of you instead of being able to go boom.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's insane. I never knew that before.
It's super thin. Yeah. I seen
it's
that.
Just
too.
a little lip that comes back over, right?
Like
a little curve.
Yeah. And I could just picture my hand because when you hold the goalie stick, you hold it on the shoulder. And I still remember another story. Matt Cook fired one and my stick was up. And then the puck hit my finger right up against the side of the shoulder of the stick. And I started puking because like my nerves were because it really damaged my nerve in my finger.
It hurt so bad.
So yeah. So I don't know how goalies would be able to hold that stick. I mean, the hood's the other way, but if it's super thin and if you get a puck right here in the finger while you're holding it, it smarts, man. It really,
It'd be
really
like
hurts.
a Sidney Crosby slash to your finger and it's falling off.
I know. The collarbone and the finger were the bad ones for me. The collarbone and the finger.
Are those the worst ones you got? Or was there something that you got that was worse?
I got some stupid funny ones. Like I had who was it? It was a Detroit Junior Red Wing. It wasn't Berard. One of the forwards. I want to say Davey. No, not Trevor Daly. Come on. I was so sorry. One of the Junior Red Wings. My his stick got caught up in my mask, and then he knew it, and so he wasn't just trying to get it out. He was like tugging on it, like pushing me on. Like the stick was right inside my face, and I was like going like this, and he's pulling towards. I'm like, pull your stick out of my mask, man. So that was crazy, and it cut me up a little bit here, but I was lucky it didn't carve out
your eyes out.
Yeah. So, but that wasn't the first one. I mean, I had a couple. It was weird. I had a couple like stick up the faces, right? I mean, that's hard to do, right? Because
Did you have the big, what were they called?
Cat eyes.
Cat eyes.
Cat eye. Yeah. Luckily, nothing. That puck just could not go through. But I tested before with a butt end. A butt ends of a player
right
stick.
Through.
But luckily, I didn't get that. Yeah. Somehow twice I got up my face. So yeah, so I lucked out.
You could get a good eye gouge too, like a couple finger pokes in the face,
couple
Three Stooges.
One of the things I always wondered was when guys get hit in the mask with any like freaking shot or anything, how do guys get split? Like I've seen guys get hit in the mask and they get cut. How does that happen?
The only thing I can think of is like I doctored my helmet up because it was like too much padding.
To bring it closer to your face?
Yeah, kind of. And just so it fits a little better on the side. I didn't want all this padding. So the only thing I could think of is like if they doctor up the padding and move things over, then there's an open space. And maybe that's why. Or just a blunt force. Because I mean your forehead can bleed easy. You know what I mean? The forehead bleeds easy. So that's the only guess. But yeah, you have enough protection to absorb some of that, right? So the most common thing for a goalie getting hit in the head is obviously the ringing, right? So, but obviously with technology, the goalie's helmet is meant to flare. So you get hit, it should skip off for the most part, right? So, but yeah, you get the odd cuts and everything, or like a blunt to the side maybe. But that's the only thing I could think of is maybe if they jimmied their inner padding.
I always wondered that.
Yeah.
I've never seen the inside of a goalie's helmet, even though my brother's one, but but like how thick, like, so you must have padding across the top of your brow. Now, how thick would you say that is? 1/4 inch, 3/8?
The padding 1/4 inch standard. Yeah, that's standard padding. Yeah.
So do you think that maybe goalies might shave that down a little bit to bring the mask a little bit closer to their face so they can see better? And that maybe why that would happen?
And so factor in like a sweatband, right? So there's Velcro, and a lot of helmets have the Velcro with a sweatband, so you can replace the sweatband, right? So that's what I had, right? But I didn't use the sweatband, right? So I took that off and I took the Velcro off. So I was literally just padding, right? Because with the sweat pad, it would like kind of fall down and then it leak and it would sting my eyes. So I didn't like the sweat pad anymore, right? So that's kind of what I did. So yeah, but that's, doctored up any way you can. So, and then you have the CSA approval, but junior helmets don't have the CSA approval. So the backing is really not that big, right? Just at the back for like juniors and pro goalies. Actually, I think juniors nowadays have to have CSA, right? Canadian standards or whatever. But like if you have like a minor hockey goalie mask, it takes up like the whole back as well. Right. So I would doctor that up too. I'd make it smaller. So, yeah, just enough protection so I just don't ruin this good looking face, So
and this is why you can't remember all the names used.
Joe, Greg.
What's his Sammy, Swami, Samsonite?
Starts with an S. I know that.
Hey, what's the craziest thing you've seen in that old barn? Could be in the stands, on the ice, whatever. Just something nuts. Because I know if the walls could talk in that place.
Yeah. There's a couple. So there was the Sault Ste. Marie brawl in the penalty box. Jovanovski, I'm sure, was involved. Corey Evans against some meatheads from the Sioux. They went nuts in the penalty box. Maxwell from Sarnia beat Ned Jovanovski with his helmet in the fight in the last playoff game.
Jeez.
There was that. That was interesting. Yeah, he took Ed Jovanovski. So they were fighting. His helmet just came off in the fight. It's not as if Jovanovski was losing the fight, but Maxwell ended up grabbing his helmet, started beating him with it, with his own helmet. So there's that. The funny one was, I think it was Kingston Frontenacs, and Brett Lindros was there. And it was, do you remember Don Cherry's Rock'em Sock'em Hockey?
Yeah.
They were giving away the VHS tapes, the big honking ones, and the refs were shit that game, and they kicked out Brett Lindros and a bunch of our players, and all the fans threw the VHS tapes at the refs. There's like a 1,000 of them, and so I think Travis Scott was in net, hiding under the net because he didn't want to get hit by a VHS tape. So imagine them throwing from the very top row, trying to gun it at the refs. It was like 1,000 rock'em sock'ems on the ice. It was funny. Free giveaway night.
Yeah. I lived on those tapes growing up.
Yeah. We
That's so funny.
when I played the netting behind the glass wall, it wasn't high glass either, right? So I played with, during a lot of warm-ups, you don't want to sit behind the net because any errant pucks, don't want to sit behind the net in warm-ups, that's for sure. A lot of pucks deflect up big time. So they increased the glass height around my area, and then they put the netting up. Unfortunate circumstance. It was the same year, so it happened twice. Where, do you guys remember Calgary Flames and the puck went up, and I don't know if it killed a poor little girl or something like that. Did you remember that?
In Windsor, yeah.
And it happened in Windsor the
Windsor,
same year.
someone got hurt real bad. So it happened twice in hockey, Calgary Flames and Windsor Spitfires. And then they started putting the netting up, like the mesh.
Wasn't it like a dumping in the corner and it missed the high glass? And
I think someone rimmed it around the boards and it just skipped fucking.
I remember exactly. It was a DJ Mando deflection. Someone shot it. DJ Mando deflected it right to kind of just redirect it, and it went up. And I think it hit. I want to say a poor girl again. I think in Calgary,
it was a little girl that fuck.
That's So,
but hey, and then people started bitching about, now I got to look through a net. Yeah, but you're not going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Or heaven forbid you become something else, right? So,
oh yeah, absolutely. So
I think the safety is the greatest thing. But now there's two different things though with that netting. There's black netting and there's white netting, and it's totally different to look through.
Yeah, I was gonna say get rid of the black netting though.
I think so too, because
the white's better.
It's hard to see when you have the white and the ice and everything's good, but when you look at the black, it's hard to pick up the puck.
Yeah, puck's black.
Watching the game, I find it very difficult.
I seen a lady at that old barn, and everybody used to sneak in their own pop and shit like that. And I seen this lady sitting up behind the net and taking a drink of her pop. And as she was taking a drink of her pop, someone took a shot and it hit something on the ice. And literally, I don't know, the timing was fucked. She was taking a drink of her pop and the puck hit the end of the can. Okay. And it drove it. Okay. It drove it right into her mouth. We were sitting like not very far away from her. And when it hit, it was like the craziest sound I've ever heard. And there was just teeth and fucking blood everywhere. I hate to be laughing, but there was teeth and blood everywhere. And they're all like, call the medics, call this, call that. And there's that one guy in every section, that one smart ass guy. And you hear him out of nowhere, call the dentist. And I was just like, my God, dude, that was probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen there.
Oh yeah. So it's a fantastic place. It was,
so you got to pay attention when you're at the games.
Yeah, a lot of stories, man. So
I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into you leave the Spitfires and then you go to
I think he went to the United League.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. So,
Same coach, right?
What's that?
Was it
Yeah,
the same coach
Paul Gillis
from the Spitfires?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Great guy. Great guy. But
you got to get him on here for us. You got to get.
I I ran into him like decades ago. He was coaching like Motor City Mechanics, and I was watching a buddy, and he was coaching there. It was like out of the blue, but no, I don't
keep trolling Costco.
Yeah, he might be there. Right? I don't know. He might be in Quebec for all I know. He's
okay.
Who knows? But yeah. So after the Spitfires, actually, I went to Antigonish for like a little bit before I played pro the following year. So that year when Dave Roach came in, right? So the year after my full year, I started with Ron Vogel, and then they traded for Dave Roach, and Mike Kelly calls me in, and he's like, "Okay, you can go to Owen Sound," and you don't want to go there. Not back then. You didn't. You're right. So he's like, or you could play Tier 2 Junior A hockey in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, and it's really good hockey. And I talked to Danny Flynn, who's at St. Francis Xavier out there. So you finish the year with them, and then you can get your schooling, kind of paid for, and you play for them in university the following year. So you can enroll for second semester in there and then get to the hockey team there. So that was kind of, and then they said they paid me $150 a week under the table. I'm like, I'm in. So I chose that over Owen Sound. So, and it was a tough choice. It's the first time I left home, really, because I played junior B in Windsor, junior A in Windsor. And then, so I went out there, and it was a lot of fun. It was really, really good hockey. And then it was 3 days later I came back, because it was just before Christmas. And then I came back for Christmas break anyway. So, and then I finished the year there, and I did a semester of St. Francis Xavier there. But then St. FX never worked out. I didn't go to school there. So the following year, I ended up playing in Quad City. I started with the Spits, and they're in the summertime, like, Gelinas, are you coming to camp? I'm like, what? Who's this? And they're like, Mike Kelly from the Spitfires come to camp. I'm like, okay. And then I had a really good camp. And not to toot my own horn, but like whoever else was there at the time, I forget who was there, but I was like the number one, and they weren't going to start me opening night. And I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. So, I was 18, 19 at the time. And then I got an opportunity with Quad City. So I went to Quad City, had an awesome year, won a championship. That's a place that we had about 9,000 fans a game. It was crazy. Yeah. And so we were playing like Flint Generals, Saginaw Lumber Kings, Brantford Smoke.
What league is that?
So this is a United Hockey League.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it exists anymore. Some assimilated into the East Coast League or something like that. United League became an American League team, and then an East Coast League team. So yeah, but Quad City, it was pretty new to hockey. It was like, I think they were only in their third year in the league, and they won the championship the year before. They won the championship the year I was there. It was an awesome experience. 9,000 fans a game. We would go to like Cheddar's and Old Country Buffet. We'd eat for free. I got a car, got a place to stay. So
I love Old Country.
I love
just sitting in the rocking chairs and fucking falling asleep out front.
It was awesome. It was like, you can tell they would have like corn, and then like, sloppy joes and mashed potatoes. And then the next day they'd have like shepherd's pie. Right. So they'd regurgitate the food. It was awesome.
Mix it all. And their biscuits are fucking incredible.
And what sucked for me though, man, I ate at the ice cream bar every time, right? So it's like I'd have a little meal. I'm like, I'm having 2 servings of ice cream, and it wasn't good for me there. I didn't eat healthy to say the least, but it was an awesome time. And so yeah, No, but that year was awesome because I ended up actually getting called up for the San Antonio Dragons of the International League, right? You know, the old Detroit Vipers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was in San Antonio for a month, so it was awesome. Didn't see a sniff of a game. You won't see me on a roster. I'm not lying to you, right? You won't see it on Hockey DB, that's for sure. But I still remember the coach, Jeff Brubaker, and he. I remember one time we were in Orlando. We were playing like the Solar Bears, and the goalie, Scott Bailey, played for Boston Bruins. He got 4 goals on him in 5 minutes. And you know, I didn't want to go in being a new guy, but then like after that, it was like 4 goals, 5 minutes. I'm just, dude, come on, man. Like really? Like he wouldn't even look at me. I didn't see a sniff of game. I was there for a month. I went on like 100. I'm not a big fan of flying. And I went on like 100 flights. We went from Kansas City to Orlando to Manitoba and all in like 2 days. So obviously I got over my fear of flying there, but you know, it was a crazy experience, but I never got to get in one single game. And then just all of a sudden, like, okay, you can go now. Pokey Reddick's back. Pokey Reddick got hurt. Okay? You remember Pokey Reddick? Yeah. Eldon Pokey Reddick. So yeah, he was in San Antonio. He was injured. So that's when they called me up at the time. So
that
but
coach didn't
San
even know
Antonio,
your name, right? That's why he didn't
No,
call
I
you.
know,
He's like, what's that kid? Where the
who's
fuck
that
is he?
kid? Yeah, who is that kid? Yeah, so yeah, compared to some of the names that were there, Darren Rumble was there, played for Minnesota North Stars, Pokey Reddick, Scott Bailey. Who else was there? Some guy that was from Tampa Bay Lightning. I forget. Oh man. But yeah, but they weren't a great team in the IHL. So it was kind of like a revolving door of players too. So
Right.
Yeah. But it was for me, wow, what an experience, right? Like the IHL was like battling against the American League, right? The IHL and the AHL. And then finally the IHL disbanded a few years later and assimilated and there was just one league, the AHL. So yeah, that was great. So
then you're all done with that, and then you come back to Windsor and you get what 3-time All-Star. What was it?
I did. Yeah. So I really wish I knew, then what I know now kind of thing. Right. So my best hockey I played was with the Lancers, like my best. Right. Yeah. So
your goals against shows it.
It was really, and we had a good team. And then my second year, that's the 1 year of all my years of playing. I was like lights out. Like I got University of Windsor Athlete of the Year.
Yeah.
I beat all those chumps from the track and field team.
Bob Murray sent that to me. He said 3 out of 4 year, first time All-Star.
Yeah.
First team All-Star, and one Athlete of the Year.
Yeah. And is
that good?
And I was Canadian Rookie of the Year too, just saying. So
is that good?
and I'm a hell of a chess player too, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, all those girls were calling in and telling us about it.
Yeah,
I'm not,
because we got all kinds of girls at a Lancer game. Oh, that's funny. No, it was so after Quad City. And actually, I was loaned to Brantford too for 2 weeks. It was funny. I played for the Brantford Smoke for 2 weeks in the United Hockey League, and then I came back to Quad City. But it was one of those. I remember sitting down having dinner. Do you remember Steve Gibson played for Spitfires? You remember Steve Gibson? Yeah, he was a captain, a little bit older than me. Played with him in Quad City. We're sitting having dinner, and like I'll never forget. He's like, Gelinas, if you can do it again, go freaking back to school. Go now. Do not play another year in the minors because you don't want to be bouncing around the minors, right? So I got that story, right? So you can just imagine, bouncing around in the pro leagues and the minors back in the day, right? So it's like the old speech kind of, if I can do it over again, I get an education, right? Just like in Slapshot.
But how old were you at that time?
I was 19. I got a later birthday, so I was 19, 20. So 19, 20 years old. So when I was in Quad City, my birthday's Halloween. So I started at 19 and 20. And so I went back to school 20, turning 21. So, and that was an awesome team. And it was good timing because the year I played Quad City was the year that for the first time Lancers went to the Nationals. Yeah,
Okay.
Chris Geniak, Scott Hillman, Pakowski, a bunch of like junior B misfits that were like 24, 25 years old and dominated. Right. So they went to the nationals. And then their goalie had graduated. So when I was in Quad City coming the next year, he was gone and it worked out perfect. So I got to play like I was the number one goalie like my first year. So it was really good. So yeah, it was awesome. And then Chris Geniak came back, went to nationals again. Right. We had a really good team. We had Kevin Hansen from the Spitfires. And so there was only really 3 spots. There's a couple other guys that played some good junior B and junior A that kind of filled that 3rd spot in, but it was basically me and Kevin Hansen filling in the main graduates, but it was pretty much that whole team back again. So we ended up going to the nationals again. It was awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yep. And then 4 years from there. So
I was gonna say you spent 4 years there, and then after you did the OHA Senior League for a bit, didn't you?
yeah, I didn't want to give up hockey. I didn't, right? So I had so in my 4th year, here's a story I'll tell you, and I'm sticking to it. It's half true. Okay. So
It's half true.
it's half true.
I'm sure we'll
Okay.
get somebody on here that'll
Oh no, because it's true, but it's more from my beliefs. So my 4th year with the Lancers, I'm done. And I'm also working a hockey school for Huron Hockey. I don't know if you ever heard of Huron Hockey. It's run by like Vern Stenlin and all those guys. Obviously they don't do that anymore. Back in the day, Huron Hockey School. I worked one up in Traverse City. And there was a bunch of pros there, working, some semi-professional players and some junior players. They're all working in the summer there for that hockey school. One guy named Paul Fixter, he was the coach of the Hershey Bears. And so he was there, and he's got a Lancer connection. I can't remember if he was assistant coach or if he played for the Lancers, but he has a Lancer connection. So he's like, oh, Ryan Gelinas, Lancers, blah, blah, blah. I played in Lancers, or I coached Lancers or something like that. So, we hung out for the week, and also all the pros and everybody, like we played at night, right? So we would just hop on and play at night. And then, so he says, hey, Gelinas, you're a pretty good goalie. I'm like, hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. And I'm like, just out of the blue, hey, why don't you give me a trial in Hershey? He goes, okay. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you trial for Hershey. I'm like, sweet. So, and we chatted a little bit through the summer and kind of hooking it up. At the same time, I had a contract for teaching though, right? This is when I met you, I guess, right? And so this was the year before, right? Because my first year of teaching was Walkerville, and then second semester at Western, right? That was my first year of teaching. So I basically had a decision to make. He told me I had a really, really good chance of making it because Philippe Sauvé was the number one goalie. So at the time they were affiliated with Colorado Avalanche, and he was like the 3rd goalie there. And then he's like, the backup's up for grabs. And it's between me and a goalie named Peter Budaj. You remember him? Montreal Canadiens,
Peter
Colorado
Budaj.
Avalanche,
Yeah.
right? Peter Budaj or whatever, however you say his name.
Budaj.
Budaj, yeah. And so it was us 3 and some Swedish goalie who ended up going back anyway. He was just there for escape. So there's 4 goalies there, and I would have been one of them. And I'm like, well, Peter Budaj is drafted by Colorado, so I have no chance. He's like, well, no, they can send him back to junior. They can send him back for his overage year at St. Michael's Majors. I'm like, really? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it because Peter Budaj that year, Philippe Sauvé got injured, and Peter Budaj played that whole year. Like, that could have been me, man. So see, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Right?
Yeah, but
the whole thing is true.
Did they win the Calder? Did they win the Calder that year?
I cannot remember, but Peter.
But maybe
Budaj
they would have with
playing.
you.
Or I might have sucked anyway. So, right?
Go back to the coast ever in hockey.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I was engaged at the time, and my wife and her brothers obviously are big in hockey themselves, and Jason was drafted by Ottawa Senators and stuff like that. And I'm like, am I going to this? And she stepped back and she's like, I want nothing to do with this at all. And you guys know what that means, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, so it was a serious decision, but I ended up taking, it's hockey or teaching. So I ended up taking the teaching contract. I've, awesome wife and 3 awesome kids who are deep into hockey anyway. Plus, at that time too, I'm a phys ed teacher, and that was the perfect time to get in phys ed, because years after that, it is a glut. No one could be a phys ed teacher for years. Like up until now, phys ed teachers only now, 20 years later, are just retiring. So, I mean, I could have been a teacher. Like, it wasn't a big deal. I could have put my teaching on pause and go play hockey, but it was also kind of the right time to be a gym teacher, right? I got in at the right time. So,
fucking dodgeball all day, man. Like,
yeah.
let's
Oh,
go.
Hey, man, what about floor hockey?
Floor hockey,
yeah.
dodgeball, basketball. I'm too short to play basketball, but whatever.
And volleyball.
No, I was a great volleyball player.
And hockey and badminton. And
Hey, I could have been in the NHL, but I just didn't know how to turn left. Couldn't turn left. So, whatever.
Hey, didn't you coach a high school hockey team too? When because I played for Harrow, I thought you coached the team then. Did you coach at Walkerville or anything?
Did I help with Brent Webby? Tom Webster, NHL coach.
Yeah, Brent was Brent.
We had Brent on.
The gym teacher there. Yeah. Brent. Yeah.
If you follow the show, you'd know that though.
I do. I follow it once in a while, man. I go on. Well, I don't go on jogs anymore, so I just walk the dog and I listen to you guys. So I got a couple podcasts here on there. I listen. Yeah, and that's why I was chatting with you there at Costco. Was funny, all the stories and how I can relate to almost every story when you guys were talking to Delaney's and the ride outs and all those guys, right? So it's like I got stories about everybody you've talked about. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
but you did win a coach of the year too, though, right? Adam Miner.
Oh yeah, when I coached my oldest boy in AAA. Yeah, we had a pretty good team. And
2015.
Sebastian. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. My son would have been 9 at the time. Yep. And coached Sebastian Gervais, who now plays for Saginaw, and Charlie Paquette that plays he came Pee Wee Minor. He wasn't there, and Adam Minor. But Charlie Paquette from Essex, I coached him in Pee Wee Minor. And he plays for Guelph Storm now. So we had a good couple of years in AAA. And I got coach of the year there. So I coached some high school and minor hockey. I was goalie coach for Kingsville Comets. Like before I had kids, I got in coaching, after teaching as well. Goalie coach for
Coach Jelly.
Yeah. Goalie coach for Tecumseh Bulldogs and or Chiefs, I should say, Tecumseh.
Who was the coach there when you were doing that? Was it George Winter?
George Winter. Yeah. George Winter.
Yeah.
And Kevin McIntosh. With Kingsville Comets, it was Mike Mazzella, I want to say. Yeah. So I helped out, and then I started having kids, and then obviously it's about coaching the kids and stuff like that too. So.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3, all in hockey. 12, 14, and 16. So my oldest boy is APing with Lakeshore. So that's why I was like at Essex Arena and stuff like that. Okay. So Segan was really awesome to invite him after his minor hockey season was done to kind of like hang with the team, and you get because at practice right now actually with him.
So he's gonna end up there.
No guarantees. No, there's no guarantees. Like he's gonna go to Essex tryouts next Tuesday, and you never know, right? There's no guarantees until he signs that dotted line, right? So
until he signs that card, eh?
Or you can just go back and play another year in LaSalle U18 for all I care, right? So, right. So, no, but it's an awesome experience for him. It's obviously being with Lakeshore, he lucks out and gets a really good experience, right? So he gets to go on the road with those guys and stuff. So it's pretty good. He's not going to the Schmaltz Cup though. So, I mean, it's kind of like the end of the line and this is his last day. So I told him to say thank you to everyone and, hopefully he can play for him next season or somewhere in junior C, right? Or junior B or wherever. So who knows? Right. We'll see how that goes. And my middle child, he's a monster. He's the big boy. He just cracked AAA for his draft year, and then I'm coaching my daughter in U15 Wildcats, so that should be good. So I think your buddies are U15 South Point, right? So you guys have to make it out to those games.
Mhm.
I hear you bragging about U15 South Point, right? So I'll be the enemy coach. Yeah.
Hey, so
Oh.
last thing that I actually have to
Yeah.
ask you, who's going to win the cup this year? Who do you got?
Not Toronto.
By the way, speaking of Toronto, I just kind of checked on the game now. They're playing game 5 right now, and they're down 2-0 in the first period right now.
Yeah. Not Edmonton. You can't play with Mike Smith. I mean, I'd love to be Mike Smith and make his money, but he's not Mike Smith. Don't have, I don't know. He's not a solid goalie. Colorado.
He's old.
I was saying Colorado too.
I picked Colorado and Tampa Bay for the finals. Two best goalies, right? Two best goalies.
Yeah, those are like the Vegas odds kind of thing, and I'm leaning towards that. You know, to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Toronto. Right.
I don't think they have the goaltending. Like as much as I love Soup, I just don't think it's there. And I don't think the heart. I don't think the heart's there. I don't think the heart's there. Not for him. I don't mean by Soup. I just mean by that team.
Yeah.
They say it's the best team ever constructed. Like, no. When McGillney and Gary Roberts and
Sundin
like Brian McCabe and that was
Dougie Gilmore,
I've ever seen.
Guys
ever. Yes. Ever.
See, here's the thing. Up front, I think the Leafs are stronger than the Lightning. It's the D and the goalie that I think are killing the Leafs right now, because the Leafs score more goals. They're way better up front.
Yeah, but Matthews and Marner are just taking fucking every other day off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I didn't notice them last game, and then they did okay, but it's their third and fourth lines that are fucking scoring. You know, like I don't know. Nylander won't even go in a corner.
Sleeps with his bed in the center of the room, because he's scared to go in the corner.
Yeah. But I mean,
when I seen that, I was like, oh my God, I would sit you.
Yeah, but you're not going to do it in the playoffs. You can't.
No. Especially the way he wears
too much
helmet.
talent.
Yeah. So I don't like the way he wears his helmet. I'm just that's asking for a beat, right? Because I'm old school.
When you call Willie Styles, you don't want to get your face all messed up.
No.
Right?
Yeah, they need to bring back some old school like clutch and grab game.
Like and you notice this, right, Ryan? Like
yeah.
Until they figure it out, it ain't gonna. And I don't
fill them in on it, Rob.
I didn't pick them to win this round.
Mm-hmm.
In all my pools, I went against them.
There's so much pressure. Obviously, we know about Toronto, and it's it's the curse of the Bambino Boston Red Sox thing, man. It's gonna be longer than the Rangers. Yeah. I think it already is longer than the Rangers.
Let me ask you this: What happens? What happens with Toronto when they don't like? So they've been dismantling Edmonton for fucking years. What happens in Toronto? Who loses their job? Does Dubas lose his job? Does Shanny lose his job? Does
both?
What happens? Who do they get rid of? Who do they bring in to coach that fucking team? I say bring in Tortorella.
Old school.
And just fight everybody. Like throw it down right in the middle of the fucking Maple Leaf. Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
When was the last? Who do they have that you can coin the phrase old school? Shanahan, right? That's about it.
Yeah. No, we got what's a defenseman they just picked up from Calgary?
Giordano.
You got Giordano.
Yeah.
You got Muzzin. Muzzin's a tough guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 3. That's 3. So I don't know. How did Chicago win 5 years ago? Right. So
toughness,
leadership, toughness, skill.
Yeah. And Toronto didn't. They get Simmons, who what? Like he hasn't done anything since he broke his hand.
He's got a lot of penalties in this series too.
You had Kyle Clifford fucking bury that guy's face in the boards, which I was okay with. Take that 5-minute penalty and Toronto worked that out. I would have brought him right back in.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, and Patrick Maroon's not going to run around there anymore. Like you took all the toughness out of the fucking team now, and now where are we?
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, though, is when they had when they had those guys in, who was sitting in the press box? Jason Spezza is sitting in the press box. So
but I don't agree with that. There's
I don't
guys
agree
who
with
could have
that
took
either.
out
He should have been on
there.
the fucking ice.
Sure, he should have.
He needs to
But
be
you
on the ice.
still have to have
over
toughness
Nylander.
in there.
I know, but Jason Spezza is one of the best face-off guys in the league.
should have never
how
been
is he
out.
not in your lineup?
Yep, you could have took one of the younger guys out. No
I
problem.
agree. I could not believe it when I seen him in the stands for games 1 and 2.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God.
I think that was
What are you
terrible
doing?
decision.
You take Nylander out. You take Nylander out with his purse, and you put
Yeah.
With
you
his
put
purse.
Spezza. Yeah, you know.
That's crazy.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Phil Kessel or fucking Willie Nylander?
Oh, Kessel would mop the floor with him.
You think so? After
Yep.
he's done freaking 6 hot dogs?
Yep.
Whoever breaks their high heels first, I guess. I don't know.
I would put money on Phil all day.
Yeah. So,
Phil's-
but
I don't think
Phil's
either
actually
actually fight.
fought.
I think they would just go get hot dogs and wine together. Fuck's sake.
But I agree with you. Like Spezza for playoff at his age, you know, it's not as if he's a fighter, but like he's old school. He brings element of seriousness, not like flashy. I hate Nylander, but
Yeah.
no, I like Spezza for like grind. I mean, I like
He's a Joe Thornton. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he plays like that. Like he's
Well,
still
yeah.
grit and grind.
Not to
you know,
mention,
like-
too, he's going to bring a little bit of calmness in the room, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When
Actually,
shit
it's funny,
gets because he's a leader.
my brother-in-law Jason Maleko played with Spezza in Brampton, and he's like Spezza's kind of nerdy. Like he has a nerdy laugh in the way he talks.
His
It's
laugh
like funny.
is-
He's like Spezza talks nerdy.
Yeah.
It's funny, yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Hell of a hockey
so-
player, man.
But
That was getting
Yeah.
played all over the thing. But I got one more question before you go. Like I can't
Yeah.
ask you the goal scoring song because you're a goalie.
Mm-hmm.
What was playing like with Todd St. Louis? Like
Todd St. Louis. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Todd St.
Tecumseh
Louis.
boy. We used to call him Scurry Louis.
Yeah.
He the more he got punched in the face, the more he laughed. Like he was fighting and he was laughing. And the guys would be beating him. He'd laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. He's funny. Yeah. At least that was one of the fights I saw in front of me. Like he was laughing. Like I never heard a guy laugh in a fight. He's hilarious. But he's heart of gold. It's funny, we were just talking about him because Adam, do you guys remember Adam Young?
Yeah. He was a tough
Yeah.
fucker too, eh?
Yeah. He's a cop now in Windsor, and he runs like he tries to get us local Spitfires out for like golf outings and stuff
Nice.
once a year. Mike Martin comes down.
Can you get
And
him
so-
on? Can you give him a plug to come on the show?
I can text Adam Young right now. And
Awesome.
yeah,
That'd be
I'll
awesome.
text him, get him out there. And so it was funny. We were in the message chat, like seeing how Todd St. Louis is doing, and I guess he's in Texas right now and stuff like that. And you know, the guy has a heart of gold, man. He'll go through a wall for you, you know. And he was so funny. He was such a funny.
All about his daughters too,
guy.
eh?
What's that?
He's all about his daughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so genuine. We would talk about him, and like he was so tough on the ice and crazy, but like he would go through a wall for you, like a really genuine guy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Bob
Good old
Murray
Todd-
posted one of our interviews, and he's like, and he puts on there, how come I've never been on this show? I don't get it. So then I was doing a bunch of back and forth. Well, I'm working. Oh, well, I'm doing this. Oh, well, I'm doing that. Hey, I'll let you know 3 minutes before the interview starts if I can make it. I'm like, well, fuck Todd.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do here? Like, I got to schedule you so that we have an interview. And he's like, yeah, I can't do it. You know, so we're
I
still
don't know
doing
this guy.
I'm still trying to do some back and forth with him. And
If you hear this,
with
Todd,
Bob
we're
or Todd?
waiting.
Todd.
Oh, Todd.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought who's Bob Murray?
Bob Murray is like the OHL guru.
Hockey Google, this guy.
Follow him on Facebook. Look him up on
Like, is he a
Facebook.
scout?
No.
No, he's just We had him on the show.
Yeah.
Check out his his
Check him out.
episode. He
Okay.
knows
Check him out.
more about OHL hockey than anybody I've ever met in my entire life.
Mhm.
All right. A Windsor guy.
Yep,
Yeah.
Windsor
Oh,
guy. Yep, we had him
okay.
out here, had a couple drinks with him, had him on the show. It was
Loves
awesome.
the show too. Awesome.
Great guy. Great guy.
Mhm.
All right.
All right, Ryan, this has been fucking
All right.
beauty, man. This has been awesome. I just want to say thank you. Nice seeing you again. Nice being able to
Yeah.
talk to you again. And
No problem.
hopefully, like soon, maybe we can have some beers and play some golf.
For sure, man. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow at Costco too there, Rob.
Yeah,
So-
hey Jelly, keep up the good work on them goalies. Misty, her daughter was out there at one of your schools. So she said she
I tell
loved
ya.
it and it was
Oh,
awesome.
good. Good.
So, yeah, keep up the
good.
good work. And yeah, I'll see you at Costco.
Give me the coffee there on the bottom shelf, would you?
I love it. All right, Ryan. Thanks, buddy.
Good to see you guys.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
Thanks.
Have a good.
And there he was, folks, Mr. Ryan Gelinas. What a beauty.
Stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, I've known him for a while.
Dude, he stalked me in Costco.
You gotcha, eh?
Yeah. So like
So
I didn't get-
did he know you were with the show or something? Like, how did he?
So here's how it goes. We go to Costco, we're shopping, and I'm in the frozen food section. So I stay in the middle because everybody's opening doors and whatever. And I'm kind of just leaning on the cart, you know, and waiting. He's standing beside me and he's like, "Hey man, what's up? Rob, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey man, how's it going?" Like thinking that he was on the show or something, that we had him on the show, and I just couldn't remember him. But like he kind of looked familiar, but fucked, everybody with a shaved head looks familiar, you know? So he's like, "Aren't you Rob?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Is this your podcast?" And he's got it on his phone, eh? And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit. Yeah, it is."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I listen to you guys all the time." He's like, "It's really awesome that, you know, how you plug these guys." And I'm like, "Well, if you don't mind me asking, like, who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Ryan Gelinas." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And he goes, "You have no idea who I am." I'm like, "I don't. I apologize." And like,
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, I was a goalie for the Spitfires for a little bit, played for the U." And I'm like, "Holy shit." I said, "Would you like to come on the show?" He's like, "I'd love to come on the show." He goes, "I
Yeah.
played with DJ Smith," and, you know, went on and on and on
Eddie
about
J, whichever.
himself. Like he's just plugging himself for Christ's sakes. And I'm
As you
like,
should.
"Holy-"
Fuck.
Like, okay, bro, I'll get you on the show. Like, fuck.
I know a guy.
Yeah. Like, I wanted him to buy me some M&Ms and shit to get him on the show. But no, he was a really cool guy, and I really enjoyed talking to him. It was the first time I got noticed out in public, you
Because
know,
of the
that we're on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so fucking sick. I was glowing all
Dude,
day.
it's crazy, man. Like we're getting out there, man. So more and more
Yeah.
people are hearing about us. So which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, "I thought you were taller." I'm like, "Yeah, well, fucking camera adds 10 pounds too, bud."
Say real nice. That's fucking funny. But yeah, so thank you, Ryan. We'll have to have some beers and golf or something soon with him.
Yeah, for sure. He was a great guy.
Rob, the West. We'll break
Wow.
down the West real
Okay.
quick here. So Colorado just smashed Nashville. So 2 of the 4 wins. Well, let's do it like this. 3 out of the 4 wins, they had 5 goals or more scored that they scored. It was just a complete fucking beatdown is all it was. It was just the team just did whatever the fuck they wanted pretty much. Like Colorado just walked all over them the whole it wasn't even close. It wasn't even.
It was kind of embarrassing, right? Like you make the playoffs and then you
I feel
I don't know
bad.
if you can't say they didn't show up, but Colorado is just that good, right?
They're just outmatched.
Right.
And it was from start to finish. Like although Colorado, the one game 2 they won in overtime there, I believe it was a Cale Makar overtime winner. But yeah, that series, I had a feeling that it wouldn't really last long when it came to that series. So what we got here is Rob had Colorado in 5 games. So not bad, Rob. Not bad. Drew had him in 5 games and I had him in 6 games. And also, guys, so you know, by the way, Drew had Florida in 5, Toronto in 6. So we may hit that one. He has Carolina in 7 and he had Pittsburgh in 6.
I hope you get it right, Drew. I hope you get that Toronto one right.
So those are Drew's picks in the East. Drew had Colorado in 5 games, like I just said. I had him in 6, and Rob had him in 5. So none of us got any of that. But that series was just a complete and total beatdown. Nathan McKinnon was all over the place doing whatever the fuck he wanted, pretty much. So,
wow,
they have
I honestly can't understand how he doesn't get rocked more often. Like,
I don't know. He's a complete psycho. My
is
God.
it me though, or does he skate with his head down a lot?
He does. Someone will get him.
Like, it's gonna happen. But like now, so I'm looking at, Colorado's done. Now they're waiting for St. Louis and Minnesota, right?
I'm not sure who would go there next.
I'm pretty sure that's the way it's gonna work. And you know what? I think they'll fucking walk either of those teams too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Colorado.
You know what I mean? I think they got the easiest 2 rounds of the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. Speaking of those 2 teams, they're the Wild and St. Louis. St. Louis currently leads the series 3-2. They play Game 6 goes Thursday night, May 12th. So these 2 teams, man. St. Louis just kind of like, you didn't hear much about them this year. Notice that?
No,
like you didn't hear a whole lot about him. But then again, the year they won.
Oh, you saw a lot of Binnington's fucking antics. Like he's crazy, like Hextall. Like, what a psycho.
Oh yeah.
Like,
but he's
gonna whack somebody with his stick. Like,
yeah, he's a
if that's the way you're gonna act, like, I will spear you in the neck.
Who was it that scored a really nice goal on Sunday? I think it was Pareko, I want to say. Like, the guy put it like through his legs and like it went like through another guy. Like, it was all, I don't know. It was an amazing goal. I watched it live. Like, when it happened, I was like, holy shit. It was such a nice goal. O'Reilly has 7 points in the series. Perron's got 5 goals. Falk has 4 assists. On the other side of the puck, like Hartman, 5 assists. Kaprizov, my God, this guy's got 7 goals, 1 assist in the series.
Try passing the puck.
Oh, fuck that. When you're hot like that, you just keep shooting.
Oh yeah, I know. I'd rather have 7 goals and 1 assist than 1 goal and 7 assists.
Fuck, as long as my team's winning games, however it gets done, who gives a shit? Rip it though. I love it. That series has been, like I said, it's been back and forth. It started off with a St. Louis win, then Minnesota won 6-2, then Minnesota won 5-1, and then St. Louis won 5-2, and then St. Louis won 5-2. So good games, man. For the most part.
Who's the other goalie? Binnington's counterpart.
Husso.
So didn't he start the series, and wasn't he like on pace like for the Vezina? Like,
I believe he did start the series. Yes, he's currently 1-2 with 3.02 goals and a 906 save.
But he was their number 1 goalie through the year, right?
I believe he was. Yes.
And then he had a bad game.
I think they went back and forth for a lot, but I'm pretty sure that he played more of the games than Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
I don't know. So in that series there,
I haven't seen any of that series whatsoever.
I watched a little bit of it. Rob has Minnesota in 6 games, so but they can only win it in 7 now. Drew has, who does Drew have here? Drew has St. Louis in 6 games, so we might hit there. And myself, I have Minnesota in 7. So that could get interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Next series, Rob. This is one I've got to watch a little bit of it. Flames and Stars. So Flames and Stars are currently they're tied at 2 right now in the series. This series has been like Jamie Benn and fucking Chucky there have been just back and forth the whole time. Point leaders on each team in this series only have 4 points. That's how tight of a series it is.
Yeah.
Like
it's fucking rough, man.
Oh my God.
Did you hear that Jamie Benn was mic'd up
during all that shit with Chucky?
Yeah, like I think it was the last game. So they took to Twitter too, right? Jamie Benn said something about Kachuk that he was coming for him, right?
Yeah.
And Lucic jumped on Twitter and said, "You got to go through me, though, bro.
Good luck with that.
Like, what are you doing?" Mm-hmm. So then he was mic'd up. I want to say it was for the last game or the game before it. And you could hear him chirping Kachuk going, "I'm right here, bud. Every time you turn around, I'm right here."
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like trying to goad him, right? But
Kachuk, see, if those two fought, it's kind of an even thing, right?
I think so.
But if he fights Lucic, then there's no point in him.
I think Ben's a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. I think Jamie Ben's a little bit bigger than Kachuk.
Yeah, and I'm talking the way they both play, like the way they mean to their squads and shit like that. It would be the same guy coming off the ice for each team.
For sure.
To where if Ben were to fight Lucic, then that's exactly what the Flames are going to want, right?
Absolutely.
So it's been a fucking chippy series. It's been a fast-paced series. They're mucking it up a little bit. The game's like one ended 1-0. Like a 1-0, 2-0, 4-2, and 4-1 game. So for the most part, the games are pretty good.
Yeah, I want Calgary to win because I want Edmonton to win.
We want a battle of Alberta. You took the words right out of my mouth. I would love to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
To see
like have you seen Cassian's face? It's yellow now.
Oh yeah, because he's got a big old
raccoon eyes.
Oh yeah,
his face is yellow from like the bruising going away. Like holy balls, man.
So you want to be
anyways,
player.
Back to Calgary. I think that's tough, man. Like what's his name? Ricky Bonus.
Yeah.
Has got them playing for him.
Oh my
God.
What
a hell of a coach.
Yeah. See,
wherever he goes, he does well.
You and Drew had Flames in 6. I had him in 5. Yeah. So that's obviously not going to happen, but you guys could still very well get it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that series is fucking woo, baby. Do you think by the end of the series, do you think Ben and Chucky scrap by the end of the series?
Ben and Chucky scrap, or Lucic and Ben scrap?
I don't.
One of them. It's gonna happen.
I know, but I don't think Ben should fight Lucic. Like I said,
he may not have a choice because Lucic's not gonna let him fight.
Yeah. And he's a complete psycho. So
right. Yeah. So he'll take that job before he lets Kachuk do it.
Mm-hmm. Last series, this one's kind of surprised me the most. LA and Edmonton. So LA currently leads the series 3-2 going back home. So last night for game 5 there. So I think there was a point in time where like Edmonton was, I think they were down 2 or 3 goals at one point in time. I know it was 2 at least.
2 for sure. I stayed up and watched the game, but I don't. The third period 10-minute mark kind of got fuzzy for me. I think I might have fell asleep a little bit. Okay, I didn't see the overtime. I got it right
here. At one point in time, it was 4-2. It was 4-2 with just under 9 minutes left, and guess who scored? Draisaitl. So Draisaitl scored two goals in less than 4 minutes.
Stud.
And Connor McDavid gave him the assist on the tying goal, or gave an assist on the tying goal, and he fucking threaded the needle right over to Leo, and it was just all net that he seen. And Kempe ended it 1-12 into overtime.
Yeah, I don't understand where LA's coming from. Like Doughty went out.
I was just gonna say, have in mind they're doing all this without Drew Doughty.
Right. So the team obviously stepped up. Like Kopitar said, "What the fuck? Let's go. We're here."
The series. So speaking of that one, if we want to talk the points and stuff. So McDavid has 9 points. Kane has 5 goals on the series. McDavid has 7 assists. By the way, Darnell Nurse received a 1-game suspension. He is out for game 6 in LA. Elimination game. He's out. He got a 1-game sussy for a headbutt.
Yeah, I saw it.
So
and it was a blatant fucking headbutt.
Yeah, like boom. Like why the fuck?
No, like straight on, boom. Yeah, like turned around, and the buddy's standing right there, and he put it right into his chin, knocked his head back. Like
what is?
I'm like, what are you thinking?
What does that do? That does nothing but hurt his team.
Absolutely. Like, and you know who I fucking love, and I couldn't believe what a water bug this guy is, because I didn't watch him in Detroit, and this is the first time I'm getting to see him. Is Abdelkader?
Yeah.
Fucking that guy.
No. You're talking Athanasiou.
Sorry. Athanasiou.
Yeah, he flies. He flies.
I couldn't believe how fast. So like he picks up the puck on a red line, and he's got, I want to say he's going in on Nurse. And they're going down, like if he's going towards Edmonton's end, they're going down the right side. Yeah. He makes one move towards the center, goes around him on the outside, and before Nurse can get turned around, he's already got his leg out, blocking the other defenseman from whacking the puck away, and gets a shot on. And I was just like, I can't believe how fast that happened.
I'm pretty sure he scored last night too.
Yeah, he did, but not on that one. But no. it was incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah, like hockey we're watching.
I was kind of hoping that the Wings were going to re-up him, but just because he's super quick, right? But
he's fast. Fuck.
So Kempe leads the charge for Los Angeles there. He's got 5 points. Here's a crazy thing. Mike Smith, 2 wins, 3 losses. He's got a 2.81 goals against, which isn't horrible. He's got a 930 save, and one of those wins is a shutout. He's 2-3. He's got a losing record. Jonathan Quick on the other side, 3 wins, 2 losses, a 3.79 goals against. So he's almost 4 goals a game, and he's got an 887 save.
Edmonton's just not scoring.
And so these games have ended 4-3, 6-0 Edmonton, 8-2 Edmonton, 4-0, and 5-4 these ones. So Edmonton is going to LA facing elimination with pretty much without one of their top 3 D-man, 2 D-man.
Yeah.
Because they got Keith and shit there too, right? So, but having
he gave a fucking pizza up the middle last night.
Oh my God, I know.
Oh, they went in and scored. It's like, that's a herder.
For this series, Drew, what does he got here? Drew had LA in 7. Drew's been fucking hitting some shit. Like Drew's hitting right teams. Like
that was his big upset then, eh?
I looked at his picks. I'm like, did you just smoke a joint or something, Drew? Because I didn't know what the fuck he was picking.
I had Edmonton. All
of his picks are turning out, but all of his picks are turning out.
Yeah.
Like he's picking the right teams to win. We may not be hit the games. We're pulling out of our ass if we're hitting the games, but like he's hitting fucking teams, dude.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So Drew had them at LA in 7. I had Edmonton in 6. So that's obviously not going to happen.
I had Edmonton in 4 after I heard Doughty was out.
Yeah, you did. So, so at this point, if I had to ask you, Rob, if you at this point of the first round, if you had to say right now who's going to win the cup, who would you take?
Fuck.
And then we'll kind of refer back as the series go. I'm still saying Colorado. I've been saying it for a while now, but I'm still thinking Colorado. They just have everything.
Yeah, they do.
They just have everything.
Yep, I agree.
They're fucking scary. But like I said earlier in the episode, that if Toronto can get past Tampa Bay, look out. I'll say that. So we'll go into our last little segment of the show like we do every week, Rob, our Butte of the week. Is there anybody that you have for Butte of the week, Rob?
I do.
Who do you got?
I got one Mr. Wyatt O'Neal.
Oh,
Scored the game winner Tuesday night in overtime against Chatham Maroons.
love it.
Snipe.
It's crazy that all the guys that come on our show always fucking do something crazy after, eh?
Yep. Yep. He had a fucking beauty goal. It's all over YouTube and everything. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm gonna
Facebook.
go. I'm gonna, as much as Leafs fans are gonna hate to hear this, but I'm gonna go Brad Marchand just because I love the way that he's playing over these past 3 games. He's really turned it on. He's doing Brad Marchand things, and it's entertaining. It's good for hockey. He's not doing anything stupid. He's not licking anybody or anything like that. He's just being Brad during the playoffs. He's real intense. He looks like he's on a fucking absolute mission. He had a nice snipe there on Sunday where he went top shelf, bar down. So that was a nice shot. And I just think what he's doing right now is good for hockey. It's great for the playoffs, and it's very entertaining. So I'm going to go Brad Marchand, as much as I hate to say it.
He'll be out next game.
So we'll see. So do you have anything else to add, or you this has been fucking a pretty crazy episode, dude?
Yep.
It's been a good one though.
Yep.
So until next week, we'll talk to you beauties next week. Aunt Rob signing off. We're out of here. See ya.
Peace.